Hey everybody, welcome to today's video review. So I'm going to review this work I have in this file. And you can also send your work for review if you want. See the description under this video. So let's start with this from Andy Pier. So I like that you made the background, so that's cool. Cool drawing. Let me see what we could do. So personally, and I think you made this for Instagram posts, so squares fine. Normally, I will go for screens like this. But that's also because I am always cinema-oriented, animated movies, etc. It's also widescreen is easy to watch. But we could go for this square view, so there's nothing wrong with that. So let's see. How I normally work is with the rule of thirds. So let's do that bit here. And like this. So you don't always have to use this. And you can still choose to place the house in the middle if you want. But then you can still use this principle. So let's think. If we wanted house to have here, something like this here, maybe it's a little bit smaller, then we can have these mountains. What kind of perspective do we want? Maybe something like this here. Then we have these mountains going like this. Here, this mountain a bit higher. And then maybe here's this sun that is going like this. Maybe we want what you did there is also interesting, that you have this horizon a little bit up here and that the sun is going down there. We're using these hills here. I think that's actually fine. Maybe we can move it a little bit like this. Maybe make it even a little bit smaller like this. You can see I'm now just playing around, trying to think of stuff. So here, let's place this here. And then let's add this here, this tree here. I think let's do something like this here. And maybe there's some bush here and here. And so I'm just trying to search some stuff. Just scribbling a bit, and later I'm going to use this to make the final drawing. So I think this could work. Let's turn these off a bit. Let's merge this together, put it a bit lighter. And let's add the perspective. So I'm taking this line tool and drawing these lines from this point. Something like this. This one's going here. So something like this. I think that's fine for now. Maybe add another one extra. So let's get this one color, Control U, colorize, something like this. Now let's start with the drawing. So what kind of house did you draw? So we have this here, this is going down. That's fine. I always like to have a little bit of the perspective here. So I think you did really a great job with that. So here, then here this going down. Then we have this perspective going here. But here you went the roof a little bit up, but that's actually also fine. So let's go here, connect this point with this point. And then following this perspective line, you did that perfectly. So here following this line, so make this here, maybe make this a little bit shorter, like here. This perspective line. So maybe I want to have this a little bit wider. something like this. So you can see I'm playing around and changing stuff, not too strict according to perspective. Still that it feels okay. Maybe make this a little bit longer. I think I want to have some more space there, so erase these lines. You can see that in the beginning I'm really rough and focusing on the big shapes first. I think you did that as well, so that's fine. So it would make more sense if those stair things were here. And then maybe we can add here these things like this here. That's cool. Maybe we can do something like this here, here. And you placed 3 right here. I wouldn't do it exactly there. What maybe I would do is maybe make here a window like this. Maybe there's a window here. And now I start noticing I want to have some more space here. So I take this whole part, place it a little bit here. Like this. And connect these parts. Maybe I want a chimney here. So something like this here. Then we can even use some smoke or something. Something like this. And then here. I like that you use these flowing lines, so let's keep that in. So I think you did a really great job. I just want to show a little bit how I would make those steps. And because yeah, there it seems a bit off that point. So here's a little bit of overlap. So then we have that there. And we also want to have this sticks a little bit out like this, and then maybe there's this road going like this. Let's make it maybe a little bit smaller, like this. This road here. Or maybe we can do something like this. So here. Maybe there's this fence here. So this also, you have these things here. Maybe that sound box is really important. That we have this sound is coming from here. There's this radio. Then if that's important, I would actually make the house maybe even a little bit smaller. Placed here, and then maybe you can do something like this. Those music notes. I think that's cool. So something like that. And I wouldn't add the tree then here, as that is important. So then maybe add some things here. Maybe there's a branch here. So then, yeah. I think I would do something like this. And maybe there's, you can see the moon here. Something like that. Maybe there's some, I think I would add here then maybe a fence or something. It's going off. To add some perspective there. Maybe there's this fence here. Something like this. was really happy with that fence at the moment, but it's not. I think it's not that important for now. But I would like to have some perspective here, something I could use there. So maybe something like this. Maybe there's another fence here. I don't know. I'm not really happy with that yet, but don't mind. What I want to focus in on is on those music notes. And okay, let's make this a little bit smaller. This off. So what I think, because you use that tree there in the foreground, so maybe we can make these music notes like this here. And then going here. And then here. And then they're getting smaller and smaller. So they're a bit smaller here. And then they're getting smaller here. And smaller here. Maybe you want to have these ones bigger. So maybe something like this. That can help with getting some depth in it. And that here you maybe see only small music note shapes. I think that's cool that it's getting bigger and bigger then, and then you get that really depth feeling into that. And then here we have this fence. Maybe here's this mailbox. Maybe we can make this mailbox and this fence bigger. So something like this. I think that's cool. I don't know. Maybe it's cool, maybe not. So we have this fence here. This fence going around. I don't know. Maybe it's like this. Maybe there's this bush here in the front. And then we have the house here and the moon. So yeah, just to show, I would leave a lot more out. So, but I think what's interesting is that we have this line, the music notes, going to the house, and then we see that this point is important. And then lighting, I would make sure that this one sticks out. So extra light here, and this is a bit lower light color. But yeah, focus on drawing. So keep practicing. The perspective was really good. So I think you only have a little bit too much going on, like these clouds. This tree is really distracting, and you want to have to focus on this. So great work, Anapir. Let's go to the next one from Guai. So that's a cool story plate. Let me see. So here we have this middle. It's cool that this character is looking up. So maybe put the ears here. Maybe you can even put this nose here and that hair like this here. Maybe you can even play around a little bit with the perspective. She's really looking with her hand in front. Then something like this. And maybe we can use a little bit of ground. Or not, maybe something like this. And then here's this road. Do something like this. It creates also depth. Maybe you can use something like fallen tree branch or something. Let's go. It's like this. Maybe some bigger grass things here. Something like that. Maybe some rocks that are bigger here and getting a bit smaller there and there. And then we have this. Maybe you can use that water effect a bit around here. So that's the focus there. And maybe use these other smaller ones there. And you want to have that focus on this point. Maybe there's this, maybe it would be cool if there was something to look on. So maybe there's this really big, proud deer or moose or unicorn. I don't know. That's here. Maybe it's just a silhouette. And maybe there's this rainbow behind it or anything. So put it a little bit down. Use this frame. And then we can use these. Here we can use these trees a bit like this here. Leave that then open. Something like this. So what I want is that first you look at this character, and this road is pointing at this character, this thing's pointing at this character. Then we're following this waterfall, also here. Then we're looking at this one. And you have these trees are pointing here. But also this tree creating here this frame for the deer. So that's how what I would do to get a cool layout. So awesome work. I really like your use of colors and sketching. It feels really, it's different than what I normally do. That's semi-realistic animation kind of. This more flat stylistic. So keep doing that. It's actually really cool. So great work, Goy. Let's look at the drawing from Sarah. So cool drawing. I like it. And I think that the body and the head looks great. I only think that maybe we can make it so that the head does feel a bit more connected to the body. So how would I do that? So maybe can I make it a bit bigger? So like this, so I can zoom in a little bit. So maybe these eyes, it helps us to do something like, for some reason, they look so intense. I think this looks more relaxed if you put the eye something like this here. Having this head, and we're showing a little bit of the side of the head, and you're doing that great. And then we have this hairpiece. I would put this hairpiece a little bit more, showing a bit of the side of that hairpiece. And I like that the hair is going like this. So maybe, and how to connect the neck with the head here. So maybe use a little bit here, so that we're seeing this a bit more from the side. Really think about how is this. Showing maybe this a little bit more from the side. And then maybe we don't close off that line there. So that you maybe some here. So because this is open, it feels more connected to the body. Let me make this Make this a little bit narrower or something. Same here with this hand. Maybe if you leave this part open, it feels also then a bit more connected to it. Well, sometimes if you draw those shapes like this, then this feels separate. But if you draw that hand like this, then it feels more connected. So, and then we have these lines. So maybe I would do it like this then. So here and don't here. This, I think it works better if we maybe do something like this here. So something like this. Yeah, I think these ankles are a bit too thick if we compare to the rest of the body. So maybe make them a little bit narrower. And maybe you can check out the feet tutorials made earlier for drawing those feet. So we have this perspective. And then sometimes it can really help to first draw the base of the feet and then draw the feet on top of it. So how I normally draw feet is sort of this ball, and then adding these things. Here is the heel, so it's almost like this, the skeleton of the feet, and then you can connect it a bit like this here. So like this, and then here you have the calf muscle. And so I normally draw it in 1, 2, 3 shapes, the feet. But you can check out maybe the feet tutorials for more about that. So Christy, and great work, Sarah. Christy has 3 questions. I'd like to improve my drawing basics. Can you please help me in drawing boxes and circles in all directions? It's so boring. I'm losing interest in that. Can you please make it more interesting by giving some exercise? So yeah, maybe it's boring, but yeah, sometimes that is practice. But even when you find it boring, maybe you can find some drawings you like, or watch a movie, or anything, or design your own head. So draw your own character using these boxes, making a cool design. Remember, how did you draw it? So, something like this, or maybe draw this butterfly and then draw this from different angles. So maybe it goes, this one's looking up, and how would that work with those shapes? Then you're also practicing different angles. But you can also watch animated movie and then take some screen grabs from when you see character from different angles and study that and draw those, break those shapes down. And you can also use this butterfly. So first we're drawing this butterfly from this angle, from the side profile, and then from the front. And then from 3/4, like this. So then that's the body. And here. And maybe now from the top down. Oh, it's a whole different, but that you draw it from all these different angles. So maybe you can play that around. So let's look at this drawing. Let's close this so we can focus on that drawing. And I think this is really great. I think your color is awesome, and I also like that you blurred this out. And maybe this is too blurry, so maybe you could work a bit on how to make this butterfly look like. But is it cartoony or not? Or yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would. I don't know how Flinders would look like, but maybe you can define it a little bit more. So and then you can also practice using those 3D shapes. Maybe, I don't know if they have a mouth. This may be more like an ant animal, but maybe you can use some photos and see how a butterfly would look like. So maybe, I don't think they look like this, but normally I would look up some photos and spider body. I really need to look up some reference. So what I would recommend, seeing this image, because your colors are great, I wouldn't worry too much about it now. Look up some reference of a real butterfly and draw the body more in these shapes, using these construction shapes. I think that will really help a lot more. So define this body more. I really like the wings, those are really detailed, but the body is still a bit blurry. So try to draw that more. Maybe you can make first sketches and send them over if you want. Thanks, Christy. Great work. So let's look at drawing from Aruna. So this is cool. And please give me some shelter. Why did you come? Cool. You made a little story. So what I would recommend you is a great drawing. So it looks really cool. So if you're drawing a fish, really think about how it's constructed. And this is also maybe interesting for Christy and anyone else. So really think about those shapes with construction. So we have this ball and then we put the eyes on, maybe some eyelids. I'm really trying to think in 3D. This mouth is going down like this. So I'm really going over the shape. So like this. And then this is the middle. So then here's this fin and here's this other fin. It's going here. So maybe there. Then here we have this tail. So I'm now drawing in 3D. You can also draw this fish in different angles with these shapes. Let's draw this slug also in 3D. So then we have the head of the slug and he's smiling. So maybe this. So here is the middle. Maybe we could give him eyes like this to make him really cartoony. So like this, and then he has this body. So I'm really trying to think in those 3D shapes. So here's like this here, and then here's the snail house. So I want to give this some 3D-ish, so that's why I try to think about how these shapes are in 3D. So try to think about it. You can also separate this maybe from the body. So maybe do something, put this more in front. Rotate the head like this. And then, so that this is separated from that body. So then I would make this lighter, clean it more up. So here we have the head. And then it's like this. And then this snail house, maybe you can think of it like this. So what I want you to do is really think in these shapes. So really thinking, when you draw a character, think about a ball, a cylinder, and a cube, and how to draw these shapes in 3D for your characters. For example, here, this shape is basically a cylinder, for example, but then really narrow. But using these shapes, you can turn them around in all the perspectives you want in the 3 dimensions. So let's look at this cool drawing from Frank. So it's a cool spider. So what I see here is the perspective is parallel. So these lines are like this. So what I think is something like this. That you're using a little bit more perspective, I think, so that it could be really subtle. So it's only a small part. Think a bit about, I think this is, yeah, this perspective is for when it's really distance. So maybe you can also try to maybe use perspective that's more like this. It also has to do with how close is the camera. But I don't know if this was on purpose or not. So let's not get too much into that. So let's look at snail. So over this snake, I think this head feels really separate from this body. So what I would do is maybe I would even make those nose like this. We can even show a little bit of that other eye here. So sometimes okay to cheat a little bit. I don't even know if it's cheating or not. Maybe make this more open. Using this. So here using this open feels so that it's more connected to that part. And then maybe use it here. I like that you have the twist in that body. And maybe I would maybe make this, for my feeling, should be a little bit longer. So maybe we could do something like this. So it feels snake a bit longer. The snake feels a little bit too short. Is he going inside that lab exhaust, or is he outside? I think that's up, so he's going inside it. So maybe it's a little bit bigger like this. Maybe it's even a bit overlapping. This like this here. And just trying out, but then you could use the perspective again. Get that right. So yeah, I think you drew this really great. So I really like your line work, but watch out that you separate those things too much. I think that can really help if you make this. Don't close off all those shapes. But great work, Frank. Let's look at Xian. So super cool floating character. So what I would do is maybe if this character is floating actually. Maybe what you could do is also use this dress like this here. And then maybe even doing a bit like this here. So that it feels really like floating. With this hair you can't really do that. Maybe that's an interesting thing you could try. And then it feels more like she's falling. Here I would really go for one. So really try to make this shape. So really have this shape one nice line. And then of course you would see some bump here because of the breast. And watch out with this neck. I think you want to have this nice flowing line. So maybe try to use a line like this here. Maybe push this neck, this chin also a little bit there. So you have that flow. You want to have that, yeah, that flow there. So here this leg, maybe it's cool if you can use, maybe it's fine that it's straight and that this is curved. I really like this line here. This is a nice curve. So try to think about these curves in the body. Also here, maybe keep this a little bit simpler. I think that's fine. I think that's cool. Maybe you make this a little bit more simpler so it's easier to watch, because these lines, yeah, it depends on how realistic you want, but I really like these long, simple lines because that's easier for the eye to watch. I think there's a little bit too much detail here and here. I think it's really cooler if you make one big and then maybe smaller shape and then one big. So that you really play around with small, medium, small, big shapes. That there's a bit more contrast in. But great work. And also really like that you have this angle in the feet. That's really cool. So that's awesome. So great work, Sian. Keep doing these studies, but maybe try to simplify a little bit more and try to use those C versus S versus straight and so on. Keep it up. And thanks everyone for sending your work, and love seeing again next week. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.